Hey, welcome to Friday Fin Tips episode here with me and Eric. Typically, they say, "How you doing, Eric?"
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks for having me here on this show today.
Good. I think that's the first time I've asked you how you're doing.
Yeah, and so we're here. We're both Oregon Trail millennials is what the new
Oregon
thing is.
Trail,
Somebody sent an email and said, I've never heard the geriatric, but Oregon Trail, and that was a good one.
Yes.
So we're not dying of diphtheria here on this show, but we're good to go.
Oh man, classic, man! You brought back memories there.
Absolutely.
Oregon Trail. Well, hey, anyways, speaking of being old, we're going to try something a little different today. This is for the beginners out there. This is for those of you that you're looking at the markets, maybe 2020, COVID, all that stuff being at home attracted you to the markets. I want to make the comparison and maybe an argument for both here. Should you use technical analysis or fundamental analysis? And before you go beating me up here, let me just work this through. Just listen, take a shot at this. You ready for this, Eric? We're going to get some feedback on it.
Yeah, I'm ready, and I think we're ready for a little bit of a beat up on
feedback.
this because there's a lot of different views on the way to invest. That's what it boils down to.
Yep.
So yeah.
Oh yeah, and so the first thing, like anything else that you got to figure out is your time frame. Okay, so technical analysis. Let me just define it. Technical analysis is the use of price, and often when we say price, we mean charts, to dictate your purchase point. You might say, oh, because the stock went up 5 days in a row, I like that momentum and I want to buy, or because the stock went up 5 days in a row, I'm nervous about it and I will wait to buy, or maybe you short. Fundamental analysis is the act of looking up a specific company's performance. Are they selling more at a higher price? Are their margins widening? They're making more money. So what we used to say is technical analysis tells you when you might want to buy a stock, and fundamental analysis tells you why you might want to buy a stock or ETF or whatever it may be. So Eric's focus is more on fundamental analysis, and so is mine actually, because we're just what we do here. But often what gets sort of lost in the shuffle is on the closing beat. I focus a little on technical analysis because all I'm really truthfully there for is so you remember the logo and maybe you come use this here at Jazz, but it's what's currently happening. So the market right now is a great example. I'm just going to pop on over here to our charts. This is a great example of technical analysis. So we have a downtrend in the S&P. This is what I'm showing here is the S&P. I'm using the futures today. But every time we bump our head against the technical downtrend, the market is selling off. So you would say that the technical traders in the short term have the upper hand here. It's very, very clear. Now, does that mean you don't buy the S&P and you just say like, oh, I'm an investor. I've got 20 years, right? So I'm not going to buy the S&P. No, we've got to disconnect that a little bit and realize that in the short term, right here, the market has expended a bunch of energy to get to an area where everybody sees the same exact technical area and says, you know what, I'm going to take a break. I'm just going to peel back here, not buy anymore, slow things down a little bit and let the market pull back. Also, to add to that, you have short-term traders who say, oh my God, this is a technical spot. I don't care about the fundamentals of the forward earnings of the S&P. I'm more interested in the fact that this has hit a temporary ceiling and maybe they want to short or maybe they want to do something else. So tip number one is time frame. Our time frame here is longer, more drawn out. But if I'm talking to a client right now, am I going to say, oh my God, you just sold your house and you have $150,000 extra dollars in cash and you want to invest it in the market? Is right now the time for them to do that? That's the technical side of things. Over the long run, yes, of course, we know statistically they're going to be much better off by investing. But in the ultra short term, if I could avoid them from buying right at a technical level, is that a bad thing? Or is that voodoo? What do you think about that?
No, I think that it's a good approach. I mean, that also, in a sense, from the financial side of things and not trying to technically time the markets, there's always that talk. And advisors, don't time the markets, remove the emotion. The real true solution there is almost the dollar cost average approach that's talked about, where like what you're doing in your 401k, oftentimes you're getting a paycheck and every single week, regardless of what the technical analysis says, you're still buying.
Yeah, you don't have a choice.
You're still getting in and you're getting that in. Oftentimes that's going to play better in most people's favor because technical analysis really is that short-term trader that's really looking to make that shift on everything. It's not as much of, like you say, what our focus is. Ours is more that fundamental side of things, though. Yes, if we can see something and say, hey, you know what, we're not going to go all in with everything. Instead, maybe drip that into the market right this second. Definitely an approach, especially when we're looking at the technical analysis. If we can find where, maybe it's not, nobody knows the bottom of the market, but if we can find something of, is this something that looks as though it's an opportunity where the market is going to recover?
Oh, yeah. And the funniest thing is you see people leave comments like, you can't time the market, blah, blah, blah. But those very same people will always ask the question, should I buy today or should I buy like next week?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
That's okay. That's like fine.
Right.
I won't pick on you for that because we all can see when the market goes up 8 days in a row and it's just rocket ship, something happened, we're all excited or whatever. Are you going to buy on that 8th day? That's like looking at the price of a house, a car, a jet ski, whatever, and the demand is there and the price goes up. At some point, you think, well, that's ridiculous. I'm not going to pay that, right? That's the same in the market.
Yeah.
Over the long term, there is a positive bias to the market. That's undeniable. But in the short term, if the market, COVID's a great example. If the market falls apart, it's the opposite. You go, ooh, that's scary. That's scary. That's scary. Ooh, that's a discount. You eventually change your mindset and go, I don't know if this is the right time, but I know generally the price or technical analysis has shown me that we have a discount and that's attractive. Right? A lot of people think that way.
Yep.
So I really wanted to make that that connection there between one is not right over the other. From an investment standpoint, everyone wants to buy at a price that they feel is a good one. Personally, I like to buy below the 20-day average price. That's just a fancy way of saying, I know I can't guess the bottom or the top. I'm not trying to do that. But if I can come back to my clients and I can say, I know that you paid less than the 20-day average, so you did get a discount in the short term. Well, you wanted to put that money to work and you got a discount. It may not be the ultimate discount, but you got a discount there. That to me works out well.
Yeah, it's kind of catching the falling knife sometimes. You brought up 2020 because a good friend of mine, he had a Roth IRA and he was looking to max it out for him and his wife. And the conversation was when to get in the market as it was falling. If you're already in the market, this is totally irrelevant. That's one big thing we've always talked about in a sense is we don't want to sell off while the market's already falling because you're going to take that loss. Yes, if we all knew that, hey, when the market started to fall off in 2020, it would continue to go. Perfect. You jump out, you jump back in at the bottom, and it all works. Crystal ball effect there. But when it comes to this situation, the idea is finding an entry point and getting in the market is perfect. This one was, I think the emotion gets in where people think, well, it could go lower. It could go lower.
Yep.
And you've got to realize, yes, it could go lower, but that could be it. It's kind of, going Black Friday shopping, thinking through Black Friday. I know this is probably a good deal, a really good deal, but I actually heard that there's a new iPhone coming out, and this new iPhone is going to, actually drop the price even more in 2 months. Maybe not. Maybe there's a delay. Maybe it doesn't work out. And that's where, the emotion sometimes comes into play when you're doing the shopping versus the fundamental side of things. I like to look at, more of like, think through like Shark Tank. Shark Tank is a cool one because when they're asking those questions on that show, they're really looking at the fundamentals of the company. Hey, well, okay, this is what you're telling me it's worth, but why is it worth this? Because, you've had this amount of sales for the company and, this is your actual revenue, but you're telling me it's worth, 50 times that? Where are you getting these numbers from? And so thinking through that when it comes to that fundamental analysis for the purchases is a cool way of looking at it, kind of that, Warren Buffett approach. You're really looking at the numbers versus just, looking at that technical entry point in a sense to make the quick buck.
Well, I'll take it, just add one extra thing to it is when you're in the market, let's say you decide this is great, we're pulling back, you want to invest your money. Well, you're not looking, like if you're investing over a 10-year period, you're not saying, well, on the next market rally, I'll sell, and then I'm going to get back out and try to buy again. What you do from there is you use price versus value to say, if the market goes up, or your stock or ETF or whatever, if it goes up and exceeds its current value, Shark Tank, a great example, if restaurants trade at 4 times revenue, but all of a sudden the price has gone to a point where now it's worth 10 times revenue, you would say, you're not getting out, you're saying, I realize that price has exceeded the value in the short term, and it's probably going to pull back. And you get your mind wrapped around that. So if you can get ahead of that and say, I realize the run, it's been a good run, like the housing market. It's been a good run, but it's probably going to pull back, but it's okay. I'm still happy. I'm not moving. You do the same with your investments. And if you could play that sort of offense year after year after year, where you realize we have these extensions, these parabolic moves, and you realize that kind of technical analysis allows you to say, I don't expect outperformance over the next 6 months. Therefore, you're not freaking out when the markets pull back. I love doing that. That's one of the things in the Wine and Wealth class. When things get overbought, I try to point that out ahead of time. Hey, this is not going to continue.
Yeah.
We use our research site to say, when the market goes up 6% month after month, how often does that happen? That doesn't normally happen. So we ought to expect a little bit of a break here. Provides opportunity, but it also gets your mind right when it comes to not doing silly things in the market.
No, totally agree.
Are you done with your coffee?
Man,
It
is time for the end. I don't know.
You got to stick with it. You got to pick something and stick with it.
I know. I don't know what to say. You know, it's let's go to the trail, like Oregon Trail.
Yeah, it has to be something really offbeat. Like, and that's how the rock rolled uphill and then put it down.
That's how the rock rolled.
So
uphill.
people are
I
like,
like that. I actually
what
like
in the
that.
hell is
That's
he
pretty
saying?
cool. There's a gosh, what is it? It's a hill in Polk County where I'm from.
Is that where it's at?
And it goes up.
Yep.
Spook Hill is what they call it, and it's basically where you can put your car. And I guess there's this whole gravitational thing where
I've seen it. Yeah, I didn't know that's where it was.
Your car goes up, and so up the hill. Even though it's really weird.
Yeah.
But
No, I've seen like videos of that.
So,
and I didn't
that's
know
how
that
your car goes uphill.
Of course, that's a Florida thing. You know what I mean? We get all kinds of crap like that. But
Yep.
Anyways, you guys enjoy your weekend. Thanks for hanging out with us. Subscribe. It'd certainly be helpful. We appreciate that. And we'll be back next week.
Yes, sir.
Adios.